My name is Candy Richardson. I have 4 children. Oldest is Zoe, she's 13, going to be in 9th grade. And then I have Zion, he's 8, a 3rd grader. Zara, she's currently 6, almost 7, is going to be a 2nd grader. And I have Zuri, she's 2.5. I'm also a foster parent. And then on the side, my other career is I'm an assistant principal at Miller High School. When I started going to Life Group, it really started revolutionizing the way I thought about not only my life, but about church. Before, when I was going to church, it was a lot about Sunday experience and not necessarily living the walk day to day. And Life Group really changed me because it held me accountable for living things day to day, and it made it such a huge difference in my life. And you know, it was really nice too because it's very family oriented. My Life Group is also very serving oriented. So the other thing that it did for me is not only was it holding me accountable for living day to day, it was changing me from thinking about myself to thinking about other people. And the more serving we did, the more I've started thinking about other people. And something else tremendous has also happened recently. My older daughter is very shy, very quiet. And so her connections at church have always been limited because of that. And in a way, of course, those of you who know me, I'm pretty outgoing, so our 2 personalities differ tremendously. And I want her to be involved without pushing her too much. And so I really wasn't sure, you know, how to balance that, how to do that. And so far, the connections at churches just haven't been good for me or for her. And this is why, you know, I just love the Life Groups, because it really connects you to church. Well, I was thinking about her, how am I going to get her involved? And I've been praying about it, and things haven't been maybe going like I thought they should be. And then what has happened is she recently joined the high school group because she's going to high school. And you have to understand a little background. Last year was kind of challenging for her. I was at school with her and I got moved to another school. She had to switch schools again in her poor little life. And so things became kind of challenging, and you can see it in her behavior, and things kind of got a little rough at home. Of course, some of it's adolescent angst and you don't know how to separate it. But then she started going to GNO and something wonderful happened. I could see such a change in her outward behavior. And so one day in the car I said, you know, Zoe, what is going on? Things have really changed in our relationship. And of course I've been praying about it, and I'm constantly praying for her. And what she said to me was, she said, you know, it's really GNO, and that's their Life Group. And I said, GNO, you know, how is that changing you? And she said, well, I'm really feeling closer to God. And I just was so overwhelmed, because that's something you know, really want for your child. You cannot have that relationship for them. And it was just amazing to see the change in her behavior, but it was even more amazing to hear her articulate that. And the second thing she said is, I'm praying a lot more. And that was just so awesome to hear, because you cannot live out that walk for your child. They have to live it out for themselves. And just to know that was happening, you know, in her Life Group, and how it made such a huge difference for her, was just so incredible to me, because everyone wants that for their child, that relationship with God. And the second thing that was really awesome about it is, in our Life Group, we do a lot of serving activities, and it's just been a huge blessing to me. I have this preconceived notion of what serving is, but every time I go, something totally different happens. And my kids have just been really blessed by it. Well, now I see Zoe living that out in her life too, and she's asking to bring people with her to GNO. And that is just absolutely incredible, because Zoe's just a very shy, very quiet personality, and for her to want to bring people into the kingdom is just really awesome. And so that's what Life Groups are all about. It's about getting out of ourselves, about ministering to other people, and about deepening our relationship with God. And to see that lived out in my child is just totally awesome.
Hi, I'm Denise Rizzo, and I have a husband, Ben, 2 children, Riley, 4, will be 5, and Luke will be just turned 3. And I work for Driscoll Children's Hospital, and I do fundraising for the hospital. I grew up going to church with my grandmother, and probably through sometime in high school kind of got too busy for God. and I'd rather sleep late than go to church. And it just seemed that the farther through college and into my married life, I just found myself in a place of hopelessness through my job and bad situation. Just life wasn't turning out the way that I had expected or hoped it would. It just came to a point where I realized that I couldn't go on without him. And Stephen Meissner, I used to work with him at the horrible place of work that I referred to. And you know, I was starving. I was looking for a church home and just happened to run into him, and he said Oso Creek, the most spirit-filled church I've ever been to, and I said, I'm there. So I showed up, and from the first moment I walked in, I knew I was home. You know, that missing piece that I've been searching for so long, I finally felt that void was filled. I kept looking all over the place and thought it was in this or in that, but really it was in God all along that like I said, the missing piece to the puzzle. And I really I felt like I was home. I can't really express
Hi, I'm John Nicely. I have a wife, Mamie, and 3 fairly grown children. I first came to Oso Creek at the request of my daughter, and I'm Denise's dad. I grew up being forced to go to church, and when I got older, I rebelled, and then for a lot of my adult life, I never went to church. And when my daughter asked me to come here, it was pretty much an instant feeling. Well, there's instantly a connection when you walk in the door. The people connect with each other, and through that they connect with God. And it's all a big connection to me.
I'll be frank, it was right after separation from my husband that I didn't care. I knew I needed to be close to people who were close to God, and Sunday just wasn't enough for me. I had to go somewhere in the middle of the week just to be filled up with the Spirit again. I guess there's a little hesitation. I'm not too terribly shy, but like I said, I guess if it were a different situation, I might be more intimidated. But I just knew I humbly knew that I needed others to help me along. And Kim Lindell reached out to me, and just really, I confided in her about what was going on in my life, and she just took me under her wing as we had been friends forever, and cared about me. She cared about me.